Want to know what a real man would tell their lady about love and life? You're in the right place. This is Hello Ladies with Rom Wills. Rom Wills is an author, speaker, and proud father. Grab some wine, sit back, and enjoy.
Hello, ladies. Welcome to my spot. Deal with any daddy issues. Deal with any daddy issues. Ladies, this is very important because a big issue that women have to deal with is trying to resolve an issue with the men that they meet that develop from their relationship with their father. See, people know me for talking about the imprint, but an imprint that occurs even before that is the desire, the subliminal desire for a relationship with your opposite sex parent. So men will want to, they'll want somebody like their mother. Women will want somebody like their father. And of course, the original imprint is just whatever's in your DNA. But this particular one is very major because, see, your relationship with your father sets the tone for the type of man that you will first have sex with, the type of men that you will first have sex with. That sets the tone. That sets the tone for it. And so if your father's an outstanding male, outstanding, caring and everything, those are the type of men you're going to look for. And indeed, that's something I've actually studied, like studying the imprint and talking with women. Whenever they had a very good father, the men in their lives tended to be very good. There's always other nuances. But when they had a bad father, an absent father, someone who wasn't there, then the first thing is they go for a similar type of men, like subconsciously. Like you can have a woman, she had an absentee father. She will always go for, or I say a father who abandoned her. She will always go for someone similar. And then, after her first few relationships, wonder why she always get these guys who abandon her. Because she's subconsciously, subliminally going for the type of man who has those type of traits who are likely to abandon her. And what she wants on a subconscious level is that type of man who has that traits not to abandon her. And she's always looking to resolve that issue. Another father, he could have been present, but maybe he wasn't as affectionate as he could be. He didn't spend time. He was in the home, but he wasn't dealing with her as much. He was taking care of basics. The woman's tendency would be to find a man similar. Now, of course, the only time that wouldn't happen is if the father was just so bad and the woman makes a very extremely conscious effort not to deal with that type of man. But that could have some problems too, because if the issue isn't resolved with the father, that's still going to pop up. There are women who have gotten very good men, like very good men, excellent men, but because that man, in most likelihood, since he's not like her father, didn't like deal with the issue or anything, in her heart, she still want that type of man just to deal with it. And usually she ain't telling like the guy she's dealing with, oh yeah, I got these issues, because maybe then he could do the stuff. In fact, maybe do the stuff, because sometimes he could be doing it, but because it's not coming from a man similar to her father, she's still not appreciating it. And it's some deep stuff. It's some deep stuff. And see, that's what a lot of women need to do. You need to find that type of guy. You need to, not find the type of guy, I'm sorry, but find the type of guy, deal with the daddy issues. Sorry, I'm thinking of something else, And, sometimes it can come to that too. It can come, I'll get into that later, but, you got to deal with it. First, recognize that you have them. Because a lot of times when I'm telling you for free, a lot of times I got to pay some money to a therapist to determine. And sometimes it's still not there because you're not conscious of it, you're not thinking about it. But then, like one of the things I would suggest women do, if you had some type of issue with your father, look at all the men you dealt with. Look at all the men you dealt with. And all of a sudden you might be like, hold up, all of them look similar. All of them look similar. All of them have the same general body build, same general character traits. And you're like, damn. And you keep doing it over and over because it's a repeat cycle. You still looking to solve whatever issue it was. You're looking for the similar man to actually do what the father didn't do. You're looking for that man to do what the father didn't do. Now, the man doesn't know, of course. And since he's had the same personality traits, he's likely to do the same thing. Like, look at your relationships in general. Like, say, you know what, because, you know, some people are like, I don't get into that imprint stuff. Oh, that's just a theory. That's some bull. You made it up, didn't you? You just some dude who made it up, didn't you? And I was like, you know, indigenous cultures know about it, and it's actually been studied. There's actually stuff to study. It's some talk you can do, some research on your own. But just look at the different men, and then you be like, oh, wow. But you have to know what it is, because it's so powerful a thing. Many women, you won't feel any attraction to a guy who got the opposite traits. That ain't real. Like I said, if you're conscious of it, you can try, but then it's still there. But a lot of times what happens in most cases is that you don't do anything to, you don't find a guy attractive. You don't feel that buzz. You know, that's why a lot of women might deal with a bad boy. Like, say their father was a legitimate bad boy, a thug or something. They don't want to deal with it. Like, I knew a woman, and she was very attractive, could get whoever, but her father was even though she was very educated, her father was on that rough side. That's the only guy she wanted to deal with who had that similar thing. And one of the saddest things is if the father was abusive. The woman is subliminally looking for that guy with the similar traits. Now, the only way, two ways that can generally be healed. Two ways. That one way is that she consciously and does some serious work to get away from that. And that's tough. It would take a lot of therapy, a lot of personal work, some spiritual work and everything to get out of that phase. And the second thing is to actually find a guy who has similar traits, but for whatever reason, he goes in another direction. He don't do the same things that the father did and subsequent guys did, which can be healing. You know, he would have to basically match your imprint and then take you in a different direction, which incidentally, because I know some guys are listening, that's the only guys be thinking they can break an imprint. You got to match it first to break it. You have to match it first. So that's the important thing. But ladies, if you want a serious relationship, deal with the daddy issues first. Even if you got to be, whatever you got to do, if you got to get therapy, if you got to talk to a minister, if you got to confront your father, deal with whatever issues were there first. Because then when you can heal yourself of those issues, then you can get to the point you can have a healthy relationship, a prosperous relationship. But you got to get rid of that. And just to be clear, because I know how some people like to deflect, men have the same mommy issues, okay? So I would tell any men, deal with that as well. But this is the ladies' channel, so I'm talking to you about daddy issues, okay? So anyway, that's all I have for now. But seriously, get the work you need, deal with those issues. I'll talk to y'all next week. Peace and blessings.